Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I, of course, am Jennifer, saying welcome to a new episode of my podcast, whether you are watching it on YouTube or if you're listening to it as an audio podcast. Either way, I hope you enjoy this episode. I hope you check out previous episodes that I have done. And I'd also like for you to ask you to like, subscribe on YouTube, or leave a positive review on iTunes for my podcast. The more subscribers I get on YouTube, the better off I am. And let's get into the heart of this episode. Now, this episode is titled, or that kind of asks a question in the title, Are Crossdressers Trans? This is kind of an age-old debate, especially over the past, 5-10 years or so. And it is a good question because trans is a very broad term in my way of thinking. Now, I know myself as a crossdresser, there are times when I think of myself as trans, and then there's other times where I don't. I just think of myself as someone who enjoys occasionally wearing women's clothes. Now, if I go with that definition of who I am, that's definitely the definition of a crossdresser, a guy or a male who enjoys portraying the opposite sex or dressing in women's clothes. But does that make me trans? It is a good question. There's some people out there that feel that trans is a huge umbrella. The LGBTQ community, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer, that trans kind of is, to me, is kind of the top of the umbrella of that big arc that covers everybody. And I like to think that I fall into that umbrella being a crossdresser because this is definitely not, normal for society. I am definitely not somebody who is a regular guy out there dressing as a normal guy does all the time. I have this feminine side that I enjoy portraying and expressing. And so I think there I kind of fall into the trans umbrella. However, if you want to get more specific on trans, at least the way I was brought up and the way I understood the definition of trans is more of somebody who feels that they were born or exist in the wrong body. Whether it be a guy who was born male, raised male, but ever since he was little felt like he should be a female or is a female and should be in a female body. Likewise, there's girls out there or people that were born female, raised as a female, but feel like they were men or guys or male. The way I always thought of trans, that's my kind of term for trans, is trans or transsexual. Somebody who has the desire or the need to have their body changed, or they are in the wrong body and want to do something to change their body to fit how they feel or know themselves to be. I am not that way. I am somebody there are times when I think about it, but in the grand scheme of things, or when you get right down to it, I don't want to be Jennifer 24/7. This is an awful lot of work to dress up like this. I enjoy doing it from time to time, but 90% of the time I am quite happy being my male self. And there's 10% of the time where I enjoy doing this. I can go out, express myself, and enjoy who I am, being Jennifer, and then I can kind of put the toys back in the toy box and let it go for a little while and then do it again. I don't have that need or that longing to exist as Jennifer all the time. I don't have the desire to be a woman constantly. I don't feel like my male genitalia parts are wrong for me. So in my mind, I don't think I fall into that trans category. Now, if you talk to other cross-dressers or other cross-dressing experts, they might say different. They might kind of go with, like I said, my umbrella term for trans. It kind of covers anybody who feels they're in the wrong body, or who enjoys dressing as the opposite sex or portraying the opposite sex. Drag queens could fall under trans. To an extent, I guess, even performers who like to dress in drag, who may be straight, normal guys. I'm thinking like Milton Burlesque, for you people who remember him, or Flip Wilson, something like that. They might fall kind of into that trans umbrella, but I think that's kind of pushing it. Now, girls like me, or some of the drag performers you may have seen on TV, they might fall more into that because they go above and beyond the Call of Duty in their way of portraying female, whether it be some of them get breast augmentation to look more in the female part that they're portraying, or take hormones, then I think that falls into trans. But I don't do any of that. I do have cleavage and stuff, but that's kind of natural, how my body is and how I'm able to adjust things to make it look that way. But I don't take hormones. I don't do anything other than just put on makeup and call it good. So trans is a really big, over the years, especially from the time that trans and talk of transsexuals first started, when I remember it, back in the late 80s, early 90s, on daytime talk shows like Donahue and Geraldo and stuff. It's come a long way since then, and it's grown, and trans it's a term that more people are accepting of, but at the same time, trans has become a term that has accepted more people into it, which is a good thing if you ask me. I am happy if people want to consider me a trans person, I am totally fine with that. I am happy with it. I can fall into that category, no problem. So there you go. That kind of answers the question of, are crossdressers trans? I would love to hear your opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts on that topic. Feel free to seek me out, leave me a comment. You can send me an email at jenniferstalepodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, this is Jennifer saying hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.